London in the 1700s was a city of extremes, a booming metropolis of over 500,000 people, yet plagued by chaos that would reshape the modern city. This was also an era of transformation. Elegant squares rose in the West End, and architects like Christopher Wren rebuilt the city in grand style. Thanks to new advanced AI software, we can now recreate these scenes with unprecedented accuracy. By analyzing actual 18th century paintings and engravings, we're able to show how London is likely to have looked. The architecture, streets, people, and atmosphere of the time, allowing us to step back nearly 300 years and experience the city as Londoners once did. This is an extraordinary bird's-eye view of the City of London from the mid-18th century, looking up the river Thames from what would later become the site of Tower Bridge. You're seeing the beating heart of Georgian and London, the world's largest port and the center of global commerce. Dominating the skyline is Sir Christopher Wren's magnificent St. Paul's Cathedral, completed in 1710 after the Great Fire of 1666 destroyed the medieval city. To the right, you can see the monument to the Great Fire, standing as a permanent reminder of the catastrophe that reshaped London. The Thames is crowded with sailing ships and rowing boats. This was London's highway, teeming with trade from across the British Empire. Notice the famous Old London Bridge, still lined with houses and shops as it had been for centuries. This view captures London at the height of its Georgian prosperity, when it was transforming from a medieval city into the capital of an emerging global superpower. This is the iconic view from One Tree Hill in Greenwich Park, looking northwest toward London in the mid-18th century. You're standing at what would become one of the most scientifically significant spots on Earth. In 1884, Greenwich was chosen as the location of the prime meridian, making this the center point from which all longitude is measured globally. Below the elegant Queen's House sits nestled between the grand colonnades of Greenwich Hospital, completed music in 1751 as a home for retired naval seamen, Britain's version of Lean Ballad music in Paris. These Baroque masterpieces by Christopher Wren and Nicholas Hawksmoor were statement architecture proclaiming music, Britain's dominance of the seas. Greenwich was the gateway to London for maritime trade, and this elevated viewpoint allowed visitors to survey the entire music approach to the capital. The fashionably dressed figures in the foreground are taking in what was considered music, one of England's finest prospects. A view that has captivated music artists and writers for over 3 centuries and remains virtually unchanged today. This is Leicester Square in the mid-18th century, one of London's most fashionable residential music addresses. The grand building dominating the center is Leicester House, built in 1635 for the Earl of Leicester music, and later home to several members of the royal family, including Frederick, Prince of Wales. The square became a magnet for artistic genius. William Hogarth lived and worked at number 31 on the right, marked by a bust of Van Dijck above his door. Opposite at number 47, Sir Joshua Reynolds would establish music, his portrait studio in 1760, painting the era's most influential figures. Notice the equestrian statue of King George I at the center of the square, erected in 1753. By this period, Leicester Fields had transformed from open farmland into one of London's most desirable addresses, though its grandest days as a residential square were music-numbered. Within decades, entertainment would replace aristocracy as the square's defining character. History has left us thousands of these remarkable engravings and paintings from cities across the globe. Snapshots frozen in time, waiting to be brought back to life. So tell us in the comments, which city would you like to see revived next? Your choice could be featured in our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the